Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Tayler Yarish Show. We're back again. This will be for the 17th of January, ripping through this month. It's already almost February, and then it'll be time for what's the holiday? Valentine's Day. You got to get your decorations out. Do people decorate for Valentine's Day? No, right? That'd be weird. Put like a bunch of hearts outside of your home. That'd be odd. This is for the 17th. I don't know what episode it is. I stopped looking. I stopped keeping track. Here we are. Eventful week. A tsunami or something just exploded, or a hurricane, or a volcano ripped. I don't know. I saw a big puff of smoke. It went viral. Everybody's freaking out. I don't know where Hunga Tunga is, or if that's the name of the volcano. But it did look pretty sick from space. It's kind of like that movie I was bitching about last week, This Is Us, like when the asteroid or whatever hits the Earth. And I think people freak out when you could see something from space. I don't know what it is, but like anytime you see anything from space, people think it's like that much more important. Like, oh, you could see the volcano from space. It's like, well, yeah, you could also see, the lights from New York City. You don't think you're going to see an erupting super volcano? I mean, what, you could see it from space. Isn't that crazy? It's really not, folks. It's really not, because, the ozone and the clouds and stuff are disappearing. And so you're going to see more stuff. At least I think that's what's happening, right? With the climate, we're losing clouds. And that's the upside of climate change, is you get to see more things from space, which will be great when we all have to move to Mars in 20 years, It could be less than that. We don't know. Okay? Everyone's shitting on Bezos, but, you're going to be real happy that you have him when he's the only guy who knows what the fuck's going on up on Mars. Him and Elon, okay? Are you Team Elon or are you Team Bezos? You got to pick a side now, okay? Because Judgment Day is coming. But yeah, it was a wicked volcano. I don't know if anyone died. Maybe somebody had like their beach house out there that just got devastated. I don't like how volcanoes, when they erupt, you really just see the smoke, When we see it like kind of just puffing out, like it explodes, but it's all smoke, man. I want to see like a cartoonish explosion of magma. Like you would in a movie. Dude, in a movie, when a volcano erupts, it's a big deal, okay? There's explosions of lava, and it's scorching down the mountain, and someone's trying to get away in a convertible. It's exciting. But this was just like a slow bubbling plume of smoke, which is I'm sure it was cool to see it. I'm sure it was cool if you were there, but for the gram, it's just not that exciting. And what is anything for anymore if not for the gram, okay? That's why we have volcanoes explode, so people can just circle them on the gram and pretend that they're, concerned about the environment. I don't know what it means that the volcano exploded. Does it mean that, there's less, ice in the sea, and so that the sea rose and then weakened the foundation, and it agitated the soil, and then it sparked a match, and then there was a Wile E. Coyote fuse up to the volcano, and then it exploded? I don't know. Maybe. I'm not a scientist, okay? So maybe someone can explain why it, let's see if they got any, there are any updates on the volcano. Here's what we know so far. Al Jazeera. Is that a reputable site? Does anyone know? An undersea volcanic eruption. So it was underwater. Oh, okay. So you're not going to have Wait, dude, how does that work? I thought volcanoes were big, giant lava rock triangles. That's what a volcano. Don't get me with this underwater volcano, all right? Can we call that a different thing? It's clearly a different thing. The eruption of Hunga Tunga Tunga Hunga. God, choose a new name, huh? Sent waves crashing across the shore of Tonga. and rising water levels were reported on the coastline of Peru and Pacific coast in the United States. Okay, so like California. California's got sick waves this weekend. That's what I just read. The capital of Tonga, Nuku'alofa, I mean, these names, huh? Suffered significant damage. All right. So nobody died, maybe. I don't know. Hunga Tonga, before and after satellite images of plume of smoke rising, the underwater volcano, yada yada. Oh, I looked up Tonga, by the way, and it's in the middle of nowhere. Like, they kind of lucked out, you know? Dude, there's people that live, like, the thing, you look at on Google Maps, you look up Tonga, or Hunga Tonga, or whatever it is, and you have to zoom in to even see the landmass. That's how small this friggin' island is. I don't know where they get food, or if it's just, hey, fish again tonight for dinner. Dude, that's gotta suck if you live on one of those islands. Like, yes, it's probably beautiful, but you get used to any nice scenery anywhere you live, right? Dude, if you live on Hunga Tonga, it's fish every night, okay? Yes, you have a nice view of the volcano that I'm sure won't erupt, right, Mom? But it's like, you know, fucking Pokeballs again? Dude, they must hate Pokeballs. Because that's like all they eat is just fish. Fish, fish, fish again. Because it's not you're not like shipping in food to this place. You know, if you don't have like a chicken coop, you're fucked. Just nothing but fucking salmon and God knows what. You know? Anyway, thoughts and prayers to the people of Hadunga, Gawanga, Jajunga Dunga. Because I'm that, you know, look tough. Update on the landlord that I have, landlord / maintenance guy. You know, we're all aware of the ongoing struggles that I face with the structure and walls of this apartment. So I had to call him over to the apartment because our cabinets are now falling off. Or the doors of the cabinets are falling off of their hinges. And no, it's not an easy, just screw it in. You know, I know somebody's going to fucking message me, be like, why don't you just get a screwdriver and screw the screws back? That's not what it takes. Okay? Because the door is attached to like a separate piece, which is then glued or fucking nailed to the front of the cabinet. You know, they put like a middleman in between the cabinet, the space cabinet, and then the door of it. So there's like this piece that I've never even seen before. So I need him. So he comes over, he takes a look at it. He's like, never seen that before. Great. Well, you put it in. So of course he's like, I don't have the tool. He never has the tool. He never has the tool that he needs. He comes over, like, I don't know, he comes in with like a drill and a broom, and he's like, I don't got that today. Hey man, keep it in the truck. You know, that's why you drive around. You are the maintenance dude. You maintain. Okay? So how are you any better than me if all you have is the, you know, the level 1 tool, which is a screwdriver. So anyway, he's like, yeah, I got to come back. And before he came over, Kate was like, hey, you should maybe go out and grab him like a 6-pack or something. Because I remember him saying how he got pissed off, how no one gave him, like, not a lot of people gave him Christmas presents last year. He was mad. Our landlord was mad because not a lot of people gave him Christmas presents, which is, I guess, a thing that you would do with your maintenance guy in your building is you give him a candle or you shave off a couple 20s and send him on his way. Merry Christmas. So we didn't get him anything. We're also out of town for the holidays. So I was like, all right, it's probably not that big a deal, but fine. I'll go get him a 6-pack. And so I got him a cider 6-pack because that's what he likes. He likes cider. And so as he's leaving, I was like, oh, hey, when you come back, we'll, fix the cabinets or whatever. But before you go, take this 6-pack. We were out of town for the holidays, so we didn't have a chance to give it to you. So take this cider. And he's like, oh, thanks, thanks so much, And then he kind of had just this moment where he was just looking down and away. He's like, I'll tell you, I mean, people used to, give stuff every year, and it's becoming less and less. And I've started a running list of those who have either given me something or have not given me something for Christmas. He's got a fucking list. He's got a list of people who give him gifts. Crazy. And then he's like, well, maybe, and then maybe, the people who didn't get me something, maybe I don't fix their light bulb right away. Maybe their toilet stays clogged for another week or so. I swear to God he said this. So this is what I'm fucking dealing with in this building, Like the paint's all fucked up and, the walls are thin and I have to fucking pay off the mob if I want to get anything fixed in the apartment. That's not how it works, bro. Like, that's included in the cost of rent. I don't have to do something extra to get you to come over here. It's part of your job. And I'm sorry that people don't. I'm sorry. It's not like the old days where people used to get you more gifts and now they don't. But you know what? It's not the old days for everybody, huh? I'm sure cab drivers wish it was the 70s as well. And, that Uber never existed. And I'm sorry that people are just, inherently selfish or I don't know what it is. Maybe they don't know. Maybe there's new tenants. You got a younger generation that doesn't know, their parents, didn't tell them that you have to get your landlord something for Christmas, Everybody moves here from somebody else, so, from somewhere else, so maybe they don't know that's the custom. So, I don't know. Maybe just do a good job, and then people will reward. And I've gotten him a case of cider before. I did it in the beginning when we moved in because I fucked up the wall. I fucked up 2 walls at the same time, and he had to come over and drywall them. Did he ever paint them? No, he didn't. We're going to let it slide, because this paint doesn't exist because, it hasn't existed since Reagan was president. So we're going to let it slide. But he did a lot in one day. So I got him a case of cider as a thank you and to, hey, please don't hate me. Because he was very, very verbal about how he hated the last tenant because he called him all the time, wanting him to fix every little thing. So, it's not a good look. As soon as we move in, I have to call him twice because I'm a moron and try to hang, a 40-pound mirror using command strips. That's on me, okay? I'll take it. I'll take that one. But you're keeping lists, bro? Dude, it's 2022. Nobody keeps lists of people. Okay? We did away with that behavior. And I don't mean we. I'm not including myself in the way. I was not a list maker. I'm a list taker and a doer, Anyway. So yeah, he's like, I don't have the tool. I'll have to come back. And he's never going to come back. I texted him and I was like, hey, just, that's also the other thing. Is like, I feel weird reminding him because I know he's not, like, he's got a lot of other tenants. I get it, but I know that if I don't say something, he's never going to come back here. So I got to be like, hey, just if you have any time this week, I'm free. If you want to come over and do the cabinets. And he's like, oh, I got the tool in my truck, so half the battle's done. No, half the battle's not done. Half the battle is done when you're halfway done with the job. All right? That's how I look at it. Just because you put the thing in the place, to come drive over here, that's not half the job. If that's half the job, then you need to stop bitching. I don't know. What do you want? I discovered a new bar. Well, it's not new. It's new to me. In like Union Square area. This, I didn't know what this bar was. So, context, I was like hanging out with some friends, and then they were leaving, and I had some time before I had to go and do a show, and so I was like, oh, I have a lot of this time to kill. I'll just like pop into a place and just write for a little bit, And so I'm on 14th Street, and there's an IHOP there. I'm like, boom, IHOP, 24 hours. It's probably like 9:30 or something right now. And I look in IHOP, and there's literally not an employee to be found. There's a guy sleeping in a booth, and there's a man just sitting at the front by the host stand. He doesn't work there. He's definitely not eating there. So I don't know. The IHOP, maybe it was turned into a homeless shelter. I don't know. But there's nobody. I see nobody there. And there's a woman in front of me who's also walking into IHOP. So I kind of let her, I let her take the hit. She walks out first. And she walks in, doesn't see anybody, and kind of peeks her head around the restaurant, and then just like walks in and sits in a booth hoping somebody's going to come to her. And I stood there for a second, and nobody came. So I was like, all right, I'm not going here. And then there was a bar next door that I walked past, and I was like, all right, that could be something. There were only a couple people in there. So I went in there. Music is blaring, and there weren't that many people. I was like, it's a little loud, but whatever. It's not busy. I'll sit here and write. The name of the bar is Coyote Ugly. Now, I didn't know that Coyote Ugly is a thing. It's like a culty movie style bar after this movie, Coyote Ugly, which I went after all this and I watched the trailer. It doesn't, seems kind of like it seems like a ridiculous movie. Definitely don't make a whole bar after it, huh? But anyway, yeah, so there's not a lot of people in there. Music's blaring. I go and sit down and write. And then, and you got to remember, I don't know the context that this is all part of like a movie. I don't know that everything that happens in there, they do it because that's the way they did it in the movie. So I just think it's a regular fucking bar. And then these bartenders are just losing it, So there's not a lot of people. The bartender then gets up on the bar and starts like walking back and forth, singing along with the jukebox, and she's like trying to get people into it, and there's like nobody here. There's like two fucking dudes at a bar, and then a guy and a girl at the bar, and then I'm like sitting at like a high top table by myself, and she's like singing the ends of the lyrics on the song. It's very, it's very sad. And then like another bartender comes out, she hops up on the table, and then they play Devil Come Down to Georgia, and they do this like, hop skip number. I don't know the style of dance. I'm blanking on it, but they do this whole fucking number, jig to no one. I mean, they're going all out, and they're like clapping their hands and this and that. And I'm like, why? You don't need to do this. Why are you doing this? And they're doing this to the bar, but there's no one beyond the actual bar, like in the bar area. People are at the physical bar, but not in the rest of the bar. And so they're doing this to no one. So the third bartender, a guy, goes out into the bar and then just stands there and watches them so that they have an audience. I mean, it was the saddest thing ever. And then I'm sitting there, I'm like off to the side. I'm at a high top writing, but now I feel like a fucking asshole because there's this, giant musical number that's happening in front of me. And I'm sitting there like Ernest Hemingway trying to, do my art. And these people are just like, come on. And I don't want to make eye contact because then I feel like I have to engage and be a part of it. But it made me, like, don't make me, the patron, feel like an asshole for doing, I bought a beer. Like, I'm a patron. If I want to sit down and, do whatever, I bought my thing. Don't make me feel weird if I don't engage in your shenanigans, if in your 80s movie shenanigans, because you want to do a tap number on the fucking bar. Gross, like, and like, they're not going to wipe the bar down after that. They're walking around the bar. They're going out to smoke a cigarette. They take the garbage out in the back alley and, step in rat shit or whatever. And then they're just hopping on the bar where you're serving chicken wings. Gross. And so don't make me feel weird if I'm not paying attention. You don't need this job. There's a million bartender jobs, especially right now. Trust me. You don't need to be doing a hop, skip, and a jump and then get mad at me like, come on, stop that right. It's like, hey, come on. So that ended. And then the guy bartender, they put on like these, I don't even know what the era of music is, but they're playing, I mean, I don't know, like early 2000s, like Limp Bizkit. They're playing Taking Back Sunday. They're playing, all these types of songs where it's like, all the dude singers, they sound like, da-na-na-na, and when, that fucking whiny, that era of music where all the male singers just sounded whiny as hell. And it's like, we're so emo, and we have eyeliner and nail polish, and a tight choker and a cut-off t-shirt tonight. It's like, hey. So the guy bartender is blaring this music, and he's screaming every word to the song from behind the bar. And you could sort of see him going all out, but he had like a giant mask on, but you could see him, he was a kind of a bigger dude too. You could see him like fucking getting into it, and it just looked like Bane, just kind of losing his shit, because you couldn't tell he was singing, but you could like just hear him screaming, and he's like slamming on the bar and like da, 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 like bath salts level losing his shit. And you could see the other people at the bar like kind of getting uncomfortable, being like, all right, dude, like, come on. I wanted to be like, this is why your bar is empty. You're on 14th Street, prime real estate in downtown Manhattan. It's a Thursday or Friday night. I forget which one, but it should be, I think it was a Thursday. It should be jumping in here, but it's not. There's just sad dudes and a sad little, comic person, man. And this is the result. Like, you got to see. Even the bouncer was like, all right, you guys could take it. You could take it down a notch. By the way, how easy is the fucking bouncer job in bars like that where there's nobody there? I mean, you walk in, you got to flash them your ID and your little vaccination card, and that's it. Like, you're not jumping anybody, Like, you must be bored out of your mind when the place is fucking just empty like that. It's like those Soho and like Fifth Avenue, like really high-end designer fancy places that had security all throughout COVID. They had like they have a guy there who basically stops poor people from coming in. That's their whole job. Like the security guy at a Soho or Fifth Avenue thing, that's their whole thing. They're not there to stop people from stealing. They have a security guard to stop poor people from coming in. If you walk in, you have raggedy clothes, your Chuck Taylors have a lot of holes in them. Maybe your hair is all fucked up or whatever, but like you smell fine. If you're just like a Brooklyn, hipster dude, you look like every guy in Brooklyn, you're not shaved or whatever. You just kind of look a little dirty, a little raggedy, because you live out of your van and, or wherever you live. And if you try to walk into those stores, if you try to walk in Balenciaga, whatever the fuck it's called, or one of those stores where they have one clothing rack and there's 4 shirts in there because that's all they sell, because if they sell one, they make rent for the next 6 months or whatever, because that's how expensive it is. They have a security guard there just to stop you, be like, whoa, no, we can't let you in, and then have other people walking by and being like, oh, well, they let that guy in, so clearly they're a trash place, Like if you wear a jacket like that, you try to walk into that place, they will put their hand on your chest and say, go back to Old Navy. That's what they say. I swear to God. It's quite the. Meanwhile, you could probably go in there and steal anything. They're not going to do anything because they're too busy looking outside to stop people from coming in. They're like the type of place, if you go in there, you're probably not the type of person who's going to shoplift unless you're that one actress from fucking from Mr. Deeds. What's her goddamn name? I'm drawing a blank. Winona Ryder. God damn it. I wish I had that off the tip of my tongue. Anyway, that's what they're there for. Anyway, it was a weird experience. It wasn't until I went home and I told Kate that, name of the bar was Coyote Ugly. She's like, you don't know what Coyote Ugly is? I'm like, no, I don't know what Coyote Ugly is. Is it like a popular, is it a major fucking Coyote? All right. I type in COY and it goes to Coyote Ugly. But is that because it's a popular film? Or is that because Google is listening to me? We don't know. Starring Piper Perabo, Bridget Moynihan, Tyra Banks. All right. 2000. Wow. Imagine starting a bar because of a 2000 romance musical. A romantic musical. Let's see what fucking Rotten Tomatoes has on this bit. All right. So it's 5.7 out of 10 out of IMDb. Okay. And I know you're not supposed to look at reviews, but your boy does. Okay. I look at reviews. I look at them a lot. Even if it's 99%, do I look at the 1%? Yes, I do. Okay, so all right, so this is one of those cult classics. This is like what's the fucking weird one where people dress up and then they go and watch it and they know every word and it's a weird thing like that. So the tomato meter, the reviews, the critics, as a film, so the people who review films, they're reviewing it as a film, not because it's like, oh, it's so bad, it's good type of thing, and then it gets a cult classic and it has a revival. It has a 23% review, and then the audience score is 71%. Coyote Ugly has an enthusiastically trashy energy and undeniable aesthetic appeal, but it's nowhere near enough to make up for the film's shallow, unimaginative story. Let's make a bar. You know? I always wonder with places like these where they do something that is like a spin-off off of the film or TV show or whatever, like what happens when the audience that knows that reference outgrow? You know what happens when they outgrow the scene or whatever? You get me. You get fucking me walking in there who then gets scolded trying to write because I don't go along and watch your hop step jig that you're doing on the bar there. That's what happens. So, you know, maybe it's time to look for maybe do another movie, huh? Maybe do a Magic Mike bar or something like that, you know? Well, that's a little different path, but you know what I'm saying, right? Like the fact that Coyote Ugly has a bar that's like a permanent staple, but the you know, Harry Potter has a limited time pop-up exhibit in New York. Dude, you could have a Harry Potter store forever. You know? Maybe it is. Maybe it is a permanent thing and I just don't know. But like, you know what I mean? Like Harry Potter, I'll say a tiny bit more popular than Coyote Ugly. Can we agree on that? You know? Even though everybody's, I don't know. It's so funny. Like all these people who like love Harry Potter, but now J.K. Rowling is like getting in trouble because she's, you know, fucking tweeting while she has her wine at night or whatever. And then people are like, what do you think? You know, I don't even know what she thinks. I just know people are upset at her that she thinks she's like a monster or something. But, you know, you got to be a little off to come up with, you know, a three-headed dog and Harry Potter itself, right? You got to be a little cuckoo, probably. What do I know? Yeah. So it's been a wild little week there. Is there anything else that I wanted to fucking get off me old chesticles? Nah, we'll save it for next week. Anyway, yeah, that's the old podcast this week. We have a show this Wednesday. We have a good show. We have Joe List, Anthony DeVito, Isabel Hagen, Juan Niccolone, Dylan Krause, Ted Barton, and myself. It's going to be a real barn burner of a show. But we don't have that many tickets sold. So, you know, if you're one of the few people who lives in New York who listens to this show, then you should get a ticket and you should come. You know, you should really come because it's going to be a great show. It's our first show back of this year. And, you know, if you want to come, hit me up. I'll hook it up, you know, get you a discount ticket or whatever. But yeah, it'll be a good show. My heart goes out to the people of Gawunga, Hanungatunga, and, you know, hopefully things weren't too bad. Volcanoes, step up your game, you know, get the lava and the magma out there. Coyote Ugly, hey, change it, you know, close down for sure, get a new bar. And, my landlord can kick rocks as usual. Let's hope he never listens to this podcast. He won't. Why would he? That's the podcast this week. Thank you for listening. Have a good rest of your upcoming week. Don't freak out at work. Don't shit on your boss's desk, or do if that's what you're feeling in your heart. I don't live your life. You live your own life. Choose your own dream. You got to jump off the cliff and build your wings on the way down, as my first year acting teacher said. Does it make sense? No, you don't build wings on the way down. You just jump off a cliff and fall to your death. So, on that note, goodbye, everybody. Have a good week. We'll see you next week. Peace out.